to this week's Radio Hound 2 Radio Restorations channel. This week we're going to be finishing up the Philco Model 70 cabinet. I did some work off camera and I got this part done and I got the other part almost done. I did film some of that, but I didn't want to belabor this cabinet thing. I had a lot of problem with this cabinet, so it was a bad first cabinet to try. But anyway, we're going to get this thing finished up, hopefully get it back in the cabinet on this video today, and we'll call that one, and that way we can start on our next radio on this series right here. And that'll be probably on the next video unless something goes wrong with getting this back in the cabinet. All right, but that'll be what we're going to be doing on this series today. I hope you enjoy the video today, and make sure you hit the like button. I appreciate it. All right, I'm still adding coats to this. This stuff's going on so much better than that other stuff. Now this one I'm not laying on the side, so I'm just putting a light coat on it because I don't want to lay the other good side down and mess it up. So that's why I'm doing it this way. This is coat number 2. And I already coated inside there once, so we're good there. You still see a few little flecks of stuff there. I'll sand that off next time, and we should be really clean on that third coat. As you can see, let's get this a little bit right there. Sometimes you gotta just change your light angle. See if you miss anything. I'll show you how good this is going to look when we get done. That front's all done. This side's all done. It's going to look really nice. All I got to do is sand this one top and side one more time after this dries. Put the final coat on there, and I'll have this main body all done. And that, like I say, it's a lot shinier when it's wet, but it'll dry out and it won't be fully high gloss, but it will be glossy compared to the other way. But it's going to be fine for our project. All right, thank you. I've been working on this on the side this week. That's about the best I'm going to get. It's still dark in that corner, but at least you don't see a bunch of line there. But yeah, it's not going to be perfect. But I went ahead and just finished this out because I'm tired of messing with it. It's been a bad example for my first radio to show you. This definitely needed re-veneered. I just didn't want to do it. But here it is. That's going to go back in. Hopefully, when I get this thing stood up, it won't show up too bad. And most of this is going to be underneath that wall. So there's just a little bit on top right there is going to show. And the rest of it came out pretty good up there. So it's just a little bit of blemish on the corner there. And we're going to go with that. Like I say, if this was for a customer, I would have put a new veneer on there. But it's not. It's mine. All right, I thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we'll get this radio back in the cabinet and we'll call this one done. And we're going to move on to the next one, which is going to be this cabinet right here. We're going to work on it next. Well, welcome to the inside of today's video. This is the end result I got with the cabinet. Had to do a lot of toning down here, and it was just going to take too long on camera to show you all that. one of these days I'll show you better on maybe a detailed video, but this has been the worst example of a radio to show you how to do a cabinet, or how I do a cabinet, I should say, not show you how to do one. Show you how maybe not to do one. But anyway, I did get it done. What I do there, you can see it's a little bit dark right there, a little bit of a blemish there. But I went and got me some acrylic paint and mixed the right colors, and I made my lines there. It gets rid of that line across there. But I made like green lines into the wood there. And then of course I ran that stain over there one more time, let all that dry. And I used a little bit of the crayons that I had in there, and I got it to look 100% better than it was. And then I put 3 coats of lacquer over the top of that. So we're good there. Today I want to try to get everything put back in if I can. The first obstacle we got to do is try to figure out this grill cloth here. And so I'm going to try to get that done first, and then we'll go on. But overall, the cabinet turned out really well. You can see a little bit of my mark. I didn't do any of that fixing back there like I did that. But anyway, for what we had to start with, I think it turned out pretty good. So anyway, let's get this thing put back in the cabinet today and be done with it. All right, I made the decision to keep my original grill cloth. I was going to put a new grill cloth in, but this grill cloth is pretty good shape, so I'm going to get it put back in, and then we'll get the speaker mounted back on. We'll get all that mounted back into the cabinet. That's my first plan. What we might do, though, I might do another alignment before I put everything back in, because we played around without doing those other things, testing, and so I may go ahead and do a quick alignment on the radio, make sure we're staying aligned before I put everything back in. So I might do that first. It sounds like it's a pretty good deal.
With the placement and the timing to set up that explosion under the galley during lunchtime, or was that just pure luck?
I got the recap done, the alignment done again. It sounds really good for an old speaker. It sounds pretty good. But got the volume control working halfway decent. This is that really bad volume control. Still has some bad spots on it. Like if I go up way high, I'll lose it. Got a little bit just at the top end.
That morning we were in 36.
But anyway, I'm going to get this thing. I got to build the, I forgot to put the covering on these grid cap wires. I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll get this thing back in the cabinet. All right, what I'm doing here is I'm taking the grid cap off, and I'm sliding the sheeting down inside here, and then I'm going to heat shrink that on, and I'll put another piece of heat shrink here, put the cap back on. That'll solve that problem where it shorts out against the side of the metal there. All right, this is the end result of one. I just have to do it about 3 more times. But that makes that where it's not going to short out down in there. It's be a whole lot better. All right, I got all 4 of these guys. All 4 of them are fixed now, and it all goes down inside there, so it's not shorting out against the can. So I feel a lot better about that before I put it back in the cabinet. And I should have had this already done, but I forgot about doing it, to be honest with you. All right, let's test one more time, make sure we got a radio, and if we do, then we'll be good, ready to put this back. This thing's pulling about 510 milliamps when it finally settles down, I think, which is really good. And gotta get my antenna hooked back on. I forgot to do that. Hook your antenna right here. You got an antenna right there and ground right there.
Pulling up the bottom liner with both hands.
Hearn says he reached into the pool to examine coating already peeled and briefly touched a chunk still attached to the pool.
All right, I'm going to call that, and we're putting this thing back in the cabinet.
10-year prison sentence.
Okay, here are all the parts that I keep. I keep them in these little tubs you can get from Lowe's for $1.99. and I just write the name of what all the parts. It's like the disassembly parts that I put into the knobs and the faceplate, that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to dump all this out because it's all going to get used today, and that way that thing will be ready for the next radio that we're going to tear down here, maybe even today. All right, so these are your chassis mounting bolts right here. And then what I'm looking for is these little clips. There's 3 of them. And then we have a bolt that goes through, I think, the front here. I gotta look for that. Just give me a minute here. I got the grill cloth board mounted back on with the speaker. That's going to try to fit up in that hole. So my next project is try to get this reinserted back up into that cabinet, and then we'll try to mount all these side screws on there, and that'll get everything mounted back on, I think. All right, that's my plan at least. I'm in the process of trying to get this wood mounted back in. I got all these little screws right here that I'm going to be putting in. So it's going to be hard for me to get a camera up in there, so I'll just have to come back when I'm done. All right, I'm having to bring you back in pieces here, but there's 2 screws here, and then there's 2 on each side, and then there's 2 on the bottom that'll hold this plate in. Next phase is getting the grill cloth cover in here. We're going to put that, but you have to go through the speaker to do that, so you have to do both at the same time. So what I'll do is hook through the top hole on my speaker and go through there. Then I got to go to that. There's a hole way up top there that I got to get into. So I'm going to get that next. All right, these screws are a little bit longer than the other screws because they got to go through, it's going to go through, let me back this up a little bit. It's going to go through that hole right there. And it goes through the wood here on the cardboard on the grill cloth. Then it goes through the faceplate, the front panel. Then it goes through the trim on the main body, and that way it holds everything in place. So that's why they got to be a little bit longer. There's 3 of them, 1 on top, 1 on each side. I also forgot to mention there's a little metal clip that has to go through too. There's a little metal clip that it feeds in through in between that front faceplate and the main cabinet. So okay, next I'm getting ready to put this chassis back in. I don't want to forget my shield here, so that's what I'm getting ready to put on next. After I get the shield in, I'm going to slide the chassis in through the holes and then try to get it mounted back on the bottom. On the bottom I got 4 bolts mounted on. Got the chassis mounted in. That one's missing the washer, but I'm not going to replace it. And most of the time you only have like a couple bolts holding these in anyway. And this one has all 4, so that's pretty good. Got all that back on. And I got the chassis in place. Looks good sitting in there. Got the speaker plugged up. Now we got to work on the front. For cleaning these face plates up, you got a couple options. You got to use a Brasso. A lot of people use the Novus 2 on it. I'm probably going to use a combination of both. I'm not going to brush this weight on down. I'm just going to get it to where it looks fairly decent. So I got to get that on, and then I got to get my knobs on, and this one's done. All right, hang in there. All right, the Novus did a really good job on there. There was a really hard white, like almost like glue residue on the inside of that. It took me forever to get that off, but I think I got most of that off. It's getting ready to go back on the cabinet here. 3 little screws hold it on. Those 3 little screws right there is what's going in the holes. All right, so let's get that back on now. All right, that thing was so bad I had to throw a little paint on it. It's not a brass one anyway, so I just went and painted it again. And I'm letting that dry for a minute before I put it back on. I'm working on these knobs now. I have three knobs like that, 1 knob like that, and all I'm doing is I'm getting my cleaner here and my brush, and I'm cleaning the knobs off before I stick them back on. This one has a set screw in the center. The other 3 just press on. The knobs back on. All I got left to do is try to get the faceplate back on, the dial base.
Another
Again,
hot
guys,
day, a
here's the
high of
finished
93
product.
degrees with a heat index over
Been a long
100.
journey,
We'll see mostly sunny
but
during the day
from
with
what
an
we
isolated
started
storm chance.
with, it's a nice
Most of the
looking little
thunderstorms come through
radio.
tonight with the chance for some
Sounds
gusty
pretty
winds.
good.
Overnight lows down to 72 degrees. 4th of July tomorrow, 90 with rounds of storms.
No,
I'm
we got that
meteorologist
little
Liz
dark
Braden
spot
on
down
WOWO,
there. Don't look just
92.3
right,
FM
but
and 1190
I think
AM.
that's fine.
There's one man on this earth
Back in
who
the cabinet.
truly gets it.
The war in Iran is blamed for everything now. The fact that these cities are out of control, their spending's out of control, the property taxes are out of control, sales taxes are out of control. The fact that these cities have been driving up costs.
Anyway, I'm very happy with this. I think this is going to be a wrap today. Thank you guys for staying with me on the full journey. Everything looks really good on it.
9 till midnight.
This will be at the Ducktail show. If anyone wants to come make me an offer on it, every dime's going to go right back into our
best selection, savings, and service on everything home. With locations in Auburn and Angola.
everything's going to be going right back into our Radio Hound Tube Radio Restorations channel here to buy parts or whatever. We're going to buy another radio or whatever. But make me an offer on it. I'm not trying to make a big profit. I'm just trying to get my money back and a little bit more to add to our business. So I should say our hobby. It's not a business. But, all right. I think it looks really good. I put the original grill cloth back in, which I'm glad I did. It looks really nice. All right. Thank you guys for watching this whole thing. Here's a picture of that radio that's in place. It's probably going to sit here for at least a little bit. The Philco looks really nice sitting in here. I just put it in here with our 4th of July decorations temporarily because I didn't have anywhere else to put it. Just thought I'd show you in its home. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed the whole series on the Philco Model 70. Like I say, I made a lot of mistakes, but we did a lot of good things too. 100% better than it was when we started. All right, so hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you tell your friends about the channel. I love seeing it grow, and I'm loving getting all the questions I'm getting. So I appreciate it. Just share with everybody. We got to get Radio Hound Tube Radio Restoration's name out there in front of everybody. So I hope you guys will help me with that. Thank you. I just want to close out all my videos with this right here. This is my my motto, and it's going to be our channel motto from now on. It's sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. We don't ever want to lose. We want to learn from every mistake we made. I thank you guys for watching.
Are you mad?
That's Daddy. Mom is inside.